everybody. Happy Friday to you. Today is day 10 of our 21-day reading plan through the greatest sermon ever preached, the Sermon on the Mount, found in Matthew chapters 5, 6, and 7. Matthew being the first book of the New Testament, the first of the four Gospels, a beautiful account of Jesus' life. And so today we're in Matthew chapter 6. We're beginning chapter 6 now, the first four verses. Matthew 6, verses 1 through 4. So let's dive right in. Jesus speaks and says, "Be careful not to practice your righteousness in front of others to be seen by them. If you do, you will have no reward from your Father in heaven. So, when you give to the needy, do not announce it with trumpets as the hypocrites do in the synagogues and on the streets to be honored by others. Truly, I tell you, they have received their reward in full. But when you give to the needy, do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing, so that your giving may be in secret. Then your Father, who sees what is done in secret, will reward you." Love this passage. And you would hear that and you're thinking, well, now, wait a minute, Jody, I think that contradicts something that Jesus said earlier back in Matthew chapter 5 when he said, "Let your light shine before others so that they may see your good deeds," right? And now Jesus is saying, no, when you give, don't do it out in public. Don't do it to be seen. Kind of try to do it in secret. Now, again, is that contradicting? Are those contradictory statements? No, not at all. Jesus is simply driving home the point here that our motivation to do good deeds should never be so that we are seen, so that we are thought more highly of, so that we are praised, so that we get some kind of glory that is absolutely not due us. As you read but when you give, so when you give, it's like giving to the needy is just a given. It is to be done by us as followers of Jesus. And it is to be done in such a way that God gets all the glory. Back when, this is almost 30 years ago, we were first starting out in ministry, Michelle was pregnant with Andrew, and the church we were serving at the time decided to throw a baby shower. And so it was on a Saturday. It was hot in the summer. Andrew was born at the end of August, and so it was just a really hot day. And I remember going to the church and seeing all the ladies gathered around, and there was one man who had come, and his name was Robert Donaldson. And so I went over and was talking with Robert, and it was just really touching to me that a guy had showed up in the midst of all these ladies, and sure enough, he had brought a gift that he wanted to give to Michelle for Andrew and his birth. Now you had to know the story. He didn't have a whole lot of material things, and he lived about 7 miles from the church. He didn't have a vehicle. He rode his bike, and it was not a 10-speed, it was a 1-speed. He rode his bike in the heat of the summer 7 miles one way to bring a gift. And he didn't do it for any praise. He didn't do it so that people would think more highly of him. He simply did it because he felt like that Michelle and that the ministry that we were providing had been a blessing to him, and he somehow wanted to show his appreciation and give a gift back. Didn't want any praise. He just honestly taught me a lesson that day, that it is really a privilege to give what sometimes we cannot afford to give because of what we have received. We have received so much from our Heavenly Father. So it's not if we give, but it's when we give. And we give it so that He gets the glory and not us. We don't need to blow any trumpets. We don't need to make any announcements to draw any attention to ourselves. We simply give it so that He is glorified. I hope that in some way that's been helpful. I know that God will all of a sudden today for me, and I'm believing for all of us, open our eyes to opportunities to give. And so when we do, let's make sure we do it in such a way that only Jesus gets the glory. I love you guys. Have a great weekend. I hope to see you in church on Sunday, and we'll be back together for day 11 on Monday. God bless.